Slaughter daughter, the badass bitch. As you were. Hi! I did it! My very first time. I'm so excited. Hey everybody. So I have literally absolutely no idea what I'm doing. So I have no idea if I'm going to be able to get your comments up, but we're going to try to go through everything, I promise. Working with these celebrities is really hard because they're divas and they're always late. Like my dad.
I'm here. I want you to have the spotlight.
Oh, thanks. Literally walking in as I'm like, you better hurry. You got 5 seconds, Dad. So what have you been up to? Oh, wait, you know what? Let's say hi to the chat. I think I can do this.
Okay.
Hey. All right. Let's see who's here. There's lots of people here. So I have no idea if the stuff that, oh God. Oh, what am I doing? Don't do that. Okay. I think I need a mouse. So
We should have a rehearsal.
Yeah, we should have had a rehearsal. This is our rehearsal. Welcome to the rehearsal. I'm Kelly Slaughter daughter Remus. This is my dad.
How you
You
doing?
guys might know him. He's got a couple dolls of himself.
Yo.
Okay, this is the top. Okay. Cutthroat Comics. What do? I press that. See, look, and it shows up right there.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
I'm ready for this.
Cutthroat Comics. Look, he says that you rule and I rule too.
All right. Yo, Joe. Slaughter Daughters. We're coming live from the slaughterhouse.
We are live from the slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Hey, Josh, what's new? We're going to tell you what's new. Oh, my goodness.
Lots of new things.
Lots of new things.
A lot of old things, too. Me.
Yeah. Well, I'm feeling pretty old these days, too. Yeah, I am. All right. Zazel, Yojo, great to see the return of the Slaughter Daughter House.
Zazel, how you doing? We're doing this without you.
Slaughter. Jonathan Martinez, Dad, he is one of your biggest fans.
He is.
Yes. He is.
Okay.
He does an impression of you.
Does.
Yes.
I'd like to hear that.
Yes. I'm so glad that you made it, Jonathan.
Yes.
All right. Josh has a question here for you.
Okay.
He wants to know, will you do a live action of yourself in a future G.I. Joe movie?
What was the question?
Would you do, or will you do, a live action of yourself in a future G.I. Joe movie?
Well, I see guys like Sylvester Stallone and the new spokesperson for State Farm, who can't say what is it word he has a tough time with?
Who? I can't read and listen at the same time.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What does he
say?
Neighbor.
He can't say neighbor. He says neighbor, but he's actually saying neighbor, but people can't understand.
Neighbor.
And Chuck Norris and all those guys doing action movies. I prefer to do the animated ones where I just do my voice, but I guess I could try to get into shape to do it. Hey, Space Commander.
Space Commander.
Yeah.
So he says he can't stay, but that's okay.
Well,
he's defending the frontier from the Armada in the morning.
Okay. Well, that's probably more important.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
More important than being here?
Well,
talking to us?
Somebody's got to look over the country while I'm here doing this.
I guess since we are going there, but we'll talk about that later. But Spacey, thanks for coming in and saying hi. Crash is here. It literally says Crash is here.
Crash is
hey,
here.
Crash.
All right.
All right.
Smash them, Crash.
Hey, Blues. Thanks for jumping on here with us.
Yes. Happy to have you.
Yes. Oh, TJC is here. Good morning.
All right.
Oh, hold on.
Where's he from?
Technical difficulties, people. Why won't it? Now it's not moving. I don't know. New music. Okay. That's not who I wanted. There we go.
Cutthroat something.
Morning or afternoon.
Yeah. Morning all.
All right. Treasures for Trigger is here. Retro Tinker.
Treasure for Trigger. The retro thing.
All right. I think I got to everyone that said hello.
Okay.
All right. So, Dad, we have not done a stream in a very long time.
Long time.
Since our Halloween episode.
Oh, really? That long? October?
Yep. Halloween episode. Wow. So we've had a lot go on.
I thought you were going to tell me to take my mask off after the Halloween was over.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
What am I doing?
First off, I'd like to send a shout out to all the NASCAR fans because the Daytona 500 got rained out and won't be run until tomorrow around 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time down in Daytona. But today, February 18th, 2001, was when we lost Dale Earnhardt, the greatest NASCAR driver, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The man in black, old Ironhead, and just the Intimidator all the way. And I got to meet him several times, and he was a big fan of wrestling and Sergeant Slaughter. And it just we lost him today. I was playing in the Dan Marino Golf Tournament 2001, and we were finished, and we were having some lunch and a few drinks, and we were watching the race, and just about the end of the race is when the crash happened, and Dale went into the wall, and everybody was really worried. It didn't look like that big of a crash. So I left, went back to my hotel room, and when I got out of the shower, I turned the TV on, and the gentleman said, "We've lost Dale Earnhardt." I went down to my knees, and I started crying and praying. And I thought, what? It can't be real. It can't have happened. But it did. And it would have been a great race today. You know, I didn't watch any of the race because it was postponed. Hope maybe a lot of you watched it, and they did a nice thing for Dale today. But anyway, just wanted to send out my regards to the Earnhardt family and everybody. Dale Jr., who's a friend also.
Yes. Thank you for that, Dad.
Yeah.
So Bill is tuning in here, and he's the one with the Sergeant Slaughter tattoo that I sent you.
Yeah, that was incredible how well that turned out. You know, I saw the drawing in black and white. Somebody sent it to me. Maybe it was you, Bill. And I just looked at it and I said, God, that's really a great drawing, because it was, you know, a really tough looking Sarge beating up all the bats and the cobras. And I wanted to get it colorized and maybe sell it somewhere at shows and sign it for fans.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think that is already colorized.
Yeah, now it's colorized for sure on Bill. Oh, because he put it on him.
Well, no, that's somebody's artwork. I know somebody, Adam Riches, knows the guy whose artwork that is.
Right. Was that who that was?
It wasn't Adam Riches' art, but he knows the person.
He knows the guy
who did the art.
Well, you know, another friend of ours, Mark Potter, has a tattoo also of Sergeant Slaughter.
Mark Potter, that's right.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing Mark coming up, and all the great fans of wrestling, G.I. Joe, Action Force over in England and Scotland. We're going to be in London on the 29th of February, and we're going to be in Glasgow on the 1st of March, and Manchester the 2nd and 3rd of March. That will be for the love of wrestling. And the first Glasgow and London is what is the name of that show? Inside the Ropes. Inside the Ropes. That's February 29th and the March 1st. So looking forward to seeing everybody and hoping that you come by and meet myself. Slaughter Daughter's going along too. Everywhere I
Yeah.
go, when I go to do a signing, hey, where's Slaughter Daughter? I thought she would be here. No, she didn't. They couldn't pay her enough. She's holding out. She's holding out. But she's going to be along, and we're going to go see a play. And hope that everybody comes by to London, Glasgow, Manchester, and comes and tries to become a member, proud member of the Sarge and Slaughter
Here.
Cobra Clutch Club. If you can survive the Cobra Clutch, you earn this challenge coin, Sergeant Slaughter's challenge coin. So there it is. You can't buy them. You have to earn them.
Yes.
So tell them about where you're going.
Yeah. So I am so excited. So my trip, I'm basically flying in with you. Then we're going to get a little rest.
And then that's the last thing I'm going to see you.
No.
Until we get back on the plane and come back over across the pond.
No, because then we're going to go Thursday night. You said we were going to see a play. But guess what play we're going to see, y'all? This is bucket list for me, by the way. So Phantom of the Opera in London. Where it originated, where it first started, Andrew Lloyd Webber. I am so, you have no idea. I've seen it on Broadway twice. I saw it last year. It was one of the last showings. And I cried the first time. I cried the second time. I'm probably going to cry again. This time I've got really good seats because yeah, remember when you gave me your credit card number?
Oh.
Yeah, that's what it was for. Yeah. But they're really good seats, really good. And you just don't know. When I saw it last year, I said to my friend that went with me how next thing is London. That's next on my bucket list for Phantom is London.
Cool.
All right, then. So we're going to do that. And then Friday, Wednesday night, we're seeing Phantom. Thursday, you go, I don't know what you're doing, but what I'm doing is going to York, England. I'm going to take a train in there and I'm just going to explore the city. It's supposed to be one of the most medieval cities. And they've got this one street that's pretty much untouched called the Shambles. And so I'm going to go there and they've got supposedly York is the most haunted city in Europe or in England. And I'm going to go there. And because, me and ghosts and ghost stories and all of that. And they have the York Ghost Company and you can buy a ghost. You can buy a ghost.
How do you bring it back?
Well, it's a little figurine.
Oh.
So that's what I'm getting my kids for souvenirs. I'm buying them ghosts.
Wondering how it gets through security at the airport.
I'm going to get the big one, and then I'm going to get 2 little ones for them. So it's we got a little ghost family. Anyway. So then Friday, you go to Scotland. I would love Scotland is another bucket trip thing for me, but I want to spend more time in Scotland than 5 hours.
I'm going to be in London Thursday and then Friday go to Glasgow.
Yeah, Friday you're in Glasgow. And I want to go to Scotland. I love Outlander. I would love to do a whole Outlander tour and see the Highlands Outlander, and all of that. And see if there's really a Craig Nadoon and go put my hands on the stones and see if I get brought back into a different time.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're going to be there for the day and then you're going to Manchester. So I was well, that's just a lot of travel. I didn't feel I had enough time in Scotland to do what I would want to do.
Well, you're not there to do anything but visit anyway.
I know. but there wasn't enough time. I
right,
feel like.
Right. Never is enough time.
No, it just wasn't enough
You
time.
should stay another week.
Well, okay. Are you gonna watch my kids?
Oh yeah.
So, I am going to Manchester. I'm going to hang around in London, and then I'll end up traveling to Manchester, where I'll meet up with you. But then I'll also get to meet up with Space Commander.
Yeah, lots of friends.
And Lady Space Commander, Mrs. Space Commander, and TJC and his son.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I'll meet up with Mark Potter.
Can't wait.
Yes,
he's
I
probably
know.
one of my biggest fans. When I first started learning how to do social media, he was one of the first ones that I communicated with, and we had more fun with G.I. Joe and Action Force. And I'd say, well, Mark, it's time for me to go to bed. I've got Reveille coming up. And he goes, go ahead, Sarge. I'll keep watch over the world for you while you get a little nap in. We had a lot of fun with that. And of course, we both had generals. We both lost our generals. And I lost my general way before he lost his. But I kind of helped him get through that phase. I hope he's doing okay with all that. Because, it can be pretty rough when you losing your mother's pretty rough. But when you lose your general, that can be pretty tough. He's our hero.
Well, sometimes the mom is the general.
Yeah, sometimes they are.
Sometimes that's just how it is.
So, and you're going to meet who else?
And then I'm actually going to meet, there's this, he had a radio show, and I was on his radio show a couple times, and he doesn't have his radio show anymore, but he's going to be in Manchester too with his wife. So then we'll get to meet him also. And he's from Manchester, or he's not from Manchester, but he lived in Manchester. So I was like, well, show me around Manchester, because Friday and Saturday I'll be in Manchester. Right. And what I really wanted to do, Dad, when I was in Manchester on Saturday was go to a football game.
Oh.
And there is a football game.
There is. Who's playing?
Well, apparently it's the biggest game of the year.
Wow. And
I'm sure it's because they're rivals, but it's Manchester City versus Manchester United.
Ooh.
And tickets are like $300 and something American.
Wow.
Might be more because I'm not good with math, but they were like $260 or pounds. So whatever that is American for one ticket. So I was like, well, I'm not going to go do that because, but I thought it would be so fun because I'm by myself, right?
Might invite you.
Well, I'm by myself, and I thought it would be so fun to just go there and be like, hi, I'm an American, if you couldn't tell, and it's my first football game. Like,
that's real football.
Make me have fun. Like, like help me and figure this out. I don't know.
I'd love to go watch a rugby game because I played it in school.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was part of our physical education class, and God, was I good! Oh my goodness, I was pretty good at all sports, but boy, I like that rugby. The old-fashioned way of playing an American football. No helmets and no pads, and it was a rough, tough game, only for the toughest. So.
Wayne Maddie says we need a trip to Australia.
Hey, I was just going to say, I saw Wayne on there, and Scott Wilder and a couple other friends that are joining us. Good to see you guys on there.
Yes, you guys, I'm going to be honest. I cannot read the comments and talk and listen to what he's saying. So I'm really sorry if I don't get to everyone's comment. I will go back and read all of them later.
Remember when you were a little girl, you couldn't chew gum or talk at the same time? I didn't mean to breathe that.
This guy.
Anyway, Wayne.
I
want to hear more about Wayne. Wayne, my agent got me on what's that new thing now that everybody's on? You're on it. Instagram, and I have
no idea. That's not a new thing. It's a new thing for you.
And I'm just learning how to answer social media, and now I got all these Instagram things, and I don't even know how to answer them. I just push a heart. That lets
I
you all know
know.
that
I sent
I
this.
love you.
I sent the story out about this,
I'm
and you
falling off my
replied
chair.
to me.
Got a little pad here I'm sitting on.
You did this whole thing about like, oh yes, I'm so excited with like your whole little thing about the story.
Did it make it?
You sent it to me, like in a private message.
Yeah, that's what's supposed to be.
Oh, a private message.
A private.
That was not. That meant to go. Okay.
Oh, I thought it was gonna. I don't know. Like I just got done saying, I don't know anything about it. So I'm not ignoring anybody. I just don't know what I'm doing with it yet.
Yeah. Well, Cutthroat says the heart is a great way to at least let people know that you've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of followers on there. My finger's getting sore from pushing those hearts.
Yeah. Walter wants to know if you're coming to Nashville or Knoxville this year.
Nashville, I think we are. I should have my book here.
Well, go get it.
Oh, no.
I can entertain them.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I know we're going to be. I know we're doing Lexington.
You'll be in Lexington.
Yeah.
All right. Sam wants to thank you for all the terrific memories over the years in wrestling and G.I. Joe, and it was great assisting you when you attended the RetroCon a few years back.
Oh, okay.
Sir.
Yes. And I'm sure everybody's looking forward to WrestleMania coming up in Philadelphia. I'm going to be at WrestleCon, which is part of that weekend. So far, I haven't been invited to the Hall of Fame again. I don't know what's up with that. But who said that? What's up with that? Oh, that was Shane Helms, his character. What's up with that?
Shane Helms, the Hurricane?
Hurricane.
We just followed each other on X.
Yeah. So anyway, when they inducted Undertaker, I thought I would be not only there, but front row, because I'm the one that discovered him. I kept finding him out of a box of tapes, and everybody else take credit for it. But so no big deal. I just was kind of disappointed that I wasn't even invited to the Hall of Fame for him. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, we already have talked about that. There's a whole episode somewhere out there about you talking about that.
Yeah. But coming up for the for the love of wrestling, going to be a lot of, not just me there, it's going to be a lot of superstars there from now and the future.
Trish Stratus is going to be there.
Oh yeah,
Trish Stratus.
She wears my T-shirt all the time working out.
I have a good story about Trish Stratus, and I can't wait. I hope I get to see her because I want to talk to her and see if she even remembers.
Yeah.
But my husband and I'll just tell us really fast.
Tell it fast.
All right, my husband and I, before we were married and we were just dating, we'd maybe been together for 2 months.
Oh, sorry.
Should I give him an elbow? Actually, I'd like to give you a chop.
Slaughter chop.
Slaughter chop. All right. Anyway, we went to go see wrestling, and you were working backstage. Were you commissioner at the time? I don't think so. You were just an agent backstage?
I was just an agent at that time.
All right. So you were just an agent, and we go and we pick up our tickets from Will Call, and then I turn and I look at the line, and I'm like, I am not waiting in that line. I'm going to get my phone out, and I'm going to call. No, I think I had to go to the payphone because there weren't even cell phones back then, I don't think. So I somehow called you or paged you. You called me back. Yeah. I don't know. And I was like,
a national emergency. Everybody came running. Sarge, your daughter needs you. Your daughter needs you. She's out front. Can't get in.
So he sends someone who happened to be one of my best friends, Danny, and sends Danny to come and get us. So now, like, Derek, my husband, is getting like this royal treatment. It's like we'd been dating for like maybe 2 months, but like this was like maybe our third time actually like going out somewhere. Bye, Wayne. We'll see you later. So he said, anyway, we go backstage and Trish, they come up to Derek and they ask my husband who's he here with? And Derek's like, her. And so then they turned to me and they're like, well, who are you here with? And we were like, him. Because I've had issues backstage before where they try to kick me out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have a backstage pass. Like, why can't I be back here? I'm his daughter. And then they're like, oh, you're Sarge's daughter? I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, okay, you can stay. Anyway.
Back then it was more kayfabe.
Yeah. So they're like, do you want to be in this shot or this promo we're getting ready to do? Hi. Hey, Ryan. We're getting ready to do this promo. Can you be in it? Blah, blah, blah. So Derek gets to be in this promo. Am I calling it a promo? Is that the right term?
A vignette.
A vignette. And where he's pushing a cart and Trish Stratus is bent over stretching. And he stops and is like checking her out.
Getting ready
from behind, right? Yeah, getting ready for a match. She's stretching, getting ready to fight Lita, wrestle Lita. So he stops and is like checking out her butt, right? And so then she stops and she gets up and she's like, excuse me. And then he's like, oh, sorry. And like walks off. And then Lita comes in and then they have their little thing. And then they end up, Lita forcefully kisses Trish and like kind of goes like that with her. And then that's the vignette, right? Yeah. So they had to do that. I don't know how many times. So there's my husband. He so hated it. How many times they had to do it over and over and over and over again of him having to check Trish Stratus out, bent over. Yeah. He totally hated it. He still talks to this day about how awful it was. Yeah. So anyway, I want to talk to her and be like, do you remember that? That was my husband.
Yeah, that was in Charlotte.
Right. So here I'm like, this is like, I'm trying to impress my husband, my boyfriend at the time. And so we get to wrestling. We get escorted backstage by someone. He gets to be on TV. Was it Raw?
Yeah.
It was Raw. He gets to be on Raw checking out Trish Stratus's butt.
Yeah. What a way to start out.
I mean, I think I got a couple extra brownie points for that.
Yeah.
I feel like. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so who else is going to be there? Lita's going to be there.
Lita will be there. Rikishi, part of the bloodline, I guess. They're all related. Oh. And of course, Sean Waltman. You remember Sean?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. 1, 2, 3 kid.
And,
yeah.
X-Pac. He was another one of those that I found in a box of tapes that was wrestling down in Texas. And I took his video to Vince and I showed it to him. And he said, he's a little small, isn't he, Sarge? I said, Vince, you can't have all super heavyweights. He said, okay, if you think you can do it, bring him in. And of course, everybody loved Sean, still do. And his first promo day, we spent all day and all night doing a 30-second promo. And he finally got it. And I said, it's time to go celebrate. And so I called my wife and Diane, and I said, not my wife and Diane, but my wife, Diane. And I said, I'm bringing someone home, going to spend the night, maybe a day or two, and I'll stop by and get some steaks over at Peter's Market there in Weston, Connecticut. And so Sean spent a day or two. I remember we had some Tiger Bowl Chinese food too, one of our favorite places.
Yep.
So it'd be good to see Sean again. He's always very respectful. And of course, El Snow.
Jason's on, my cousin, your nephew.
Oh, hey, Jace.
Yo, Joe.
Yo, Joe.
Yo, Jay.
Joe. Yo, Jay. And Ken Shamrock's going to be there. Ken Shamrock. Elijah. I don't know if both of them are going to be there. His twin brother. That'd be I want to see that. I want to see the twin brother. And of course, Rhino, CJ Perry, Jake Hager. Goes by a couple other names. I know when I wrestled him, he still is a pretty damn tough guy.
Dad was 1, 2, 3 kid versus Razor Ramon. Was that your idea?
was one of our. We all kind of kept thinking, of a good way to get Sean over real quick. And 1, 2, 3 was the way to do it, and that's how we get his name. 1, 2, 3, kid.
Are you going to be in the WWE 2K24?
I don't know. I hope I am. I mean, how could you have a WWE 2K24 without Sergeant Slaughter? I mean, without any of the legends. My feeling is, why don't you have that game and then have a Legends game where you have all us legends in a game? Have 2 games. If you don't have room for everybody, make a separate game. Make a Legends, WWE Legends 2K24, 2K25, 2K26, 2K27, and on and on and on and on and on. But yeah, it would be great to be in it. But Anyway,
who else is going to be there?
Who else? Gangrel.
Nice.
And of course, one of my favorites, the real one. He's quite a character, and very respectful, and very happy for how his career turned out. Gave thanks to a lot of people, including me, for helping him and not so much discovering him, but taking him aside and saying, why don't you try this, and why don't you try that. Did I mention El Snow's going to be there?
I don't know if you did or not, but he is.
El and I had a match one time, and I said, El, you should have quit while you were ahead. Because he used to have his head.
Yeah,
I
remember.
To carry his head around.
Yeah,
Nick Nemeth is going to be there. Everybody knows Nick. And Mandy Sachs. Scott Steiner. Look out. Scott's on his way over there.
Nice.
It'll be a lot of fun. Nice. A lot of fun. Don't miss out. Exciting. Don't miss the opportunity to meet all these superstars.
Well, Gavin's going to be there.
Gavin.
Yep. Gavin says he's going to be there. He can't wait to see you.
And it's just it doesn't happen a lot, especially for me. This is, I think, my first trip to across the pond in probably 10 or more years. And not just wrestling, but, Action Force and G.I. Joe. And, a lot of you probably have collectibles, from Action Force and G.I. Joe, back in when it was Action Force. I wasn't Sergeant Slaughter. I was Sergeant Slammer. They couldn't use Slaughter because they thought it was a little too harsh for the children over there. So they called me Sergeant Slammer. And we're going to have some of those. I think they only made 1 of 500 Sergeant Slammers. So we're going to bring those along.
Nice. That's awesome.
So that'll be a lot of fun. So don't miss the opportunity to get your, Sergeant Slaughter Wrestling, G.I. Joe, and Action Force collectibles signed,
Yes, and, for sure.
My agent, because I just retired another campaign cover, and he said, "What are you going to do with all those campaign covers?" And I said, "Well, I guess I'll just keep them." And he said, "Why don't you bring them over? Maybe somebody will want to buy them."
Ooh, is this the one that I wore for Halloween?
Yeah.
Oh, so even it's a hat. I wore it. That means the value goes up, right? Because I wore it.
Oh yeah. Because it had.
Is my makeup still in there? Is that why you're retiring it?
No. It's because it's got hair in it.
Oh, sorry.
I don't have hair, so.
Sorry, Dad. I have a lot of hair.
So you do have.
Well, I don't have a lot. I just have long hair. Yeah. All right.
But that'll be a lot of fun for everybody, and especially the Q&As. You can ask those questions and get photo ops, and don't forget that Cobra Clutch Challenge.
Nice.
Don't forget that Cobra Clutch Challenge.
Right here.
Right there.
Yeah. See that right there? That little.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Video camera.
You could survive the Cobra Clutch. You become a proud member of the Sergeant Slaughter Cobra Clutch Club. Anyway.
All right. So, Dad.
You hear that?
It's a real coin. It's heavy. It's like a really nice point. I was actually
really
very
is.
impressed when I saw it. You
Really is.
did a good job on it. So, Dad, now that we've talked about the UK, I didn't say what I was going to do on Sunday. Sunday, I'm taking a flight from Manchester to London, and then I'm going to get on a tour to Stonehenge and Bath and Lecoq. Yes, Lecoq Village. I just like saying that, Lecoq.
All the trips I did overseas, I never got to see anything because all we did was see the airport, the hotel, and the arena. Then next day we went to the airport, hotel, arena, then on the bus, hotel.
I know, because we used to say, "Hey, Dad, how was Japan?" or "How was wherever you were?" And you'd be like, "Well, the airport was nice. The hotel was all right.
Yeah.
Could have had a softer bed."
Remember the first 6 times I went to Japan, I didn't eat sushi.
What a shame.
So that was a little rough. I had to find places that were Americanized, and they'd have these windows with plastic food, and you'd take the waitress outside and you'd point at what you wanted and tell her how many.
Oh, wow.
But curry and rice was one of my favorites. Anyway.
So Joshua says he plans to get the Cobra Clutch this year at Joe Fest. He couldn't get it last year,
okay,
unfortunately.
Joe
So
Fest.
we didn't even think about talking about Joe
I
Fest.
thought about Joe Fest. That's not until June, right?
Not until June.
Yeah. Actually, the reason we're here today is because this was our Valentine's Day celebration today.
Okay.
Because we didn't get to see each other on Valentine's Day.
No, we didn't. So you got to take the kids with you last night.
Yeah.
Yes. So
happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Happy belated Hallmark holiday.
Yeah. Okay. Plug out there for home.
Yeah. So what else did you want to talk about?
Well, we went to the Eagles concert.
We went to the Eagles concert.
Yeah,
yes, that we did.
That was like a what'd you call that when you do something you've always wanted to do? Bucket list? Bucket list for me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a couple of the Eagle members are no longer with us, but I got to see them, and they sounded even better than the original Eagles.
It was great with Vince Gill.
We had prime seats, and Vince Gill, oh my gosh, he was great. And they all, play the instruments, and after every song, they always changed instruments. I don't know how that happens. And of course, Don Henley got up behind the drums a few times and came out on stage and was playing guitar and singing. It was the most unbelievable. We got kind of stuck getting there. We had a little delay, and we missed Steely Dan.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to see Steely Dan, but we missed their whole show. We got there just as the Eagles were.
We had a horrible driver.
Oh man.
Horrible driver. Had no idea what he was doing or where he was going, and he couldn't fit through to get us to where we needed to eat because it was too big, and he just kept circling around, and we're trying to tell him, just stop and let us out and we will walk. We can see it, just let us out.
Yeah.
He would refuse to let us out. Then he dropped us off at the concert on the total opposite side of where our seats were.
Right.
And we had to walk, which is no problem for us, but my mom is having some issues. So she was having some problems with that. With walking. And then we went to leave, and we finally track him down. We have to track him down, my sister and I, because we left you guys to sit so you didn't have to walk so much. We track him down, and I'm like, okay, you stay here. I'm gonna go get my parents, and we're gonna walk back here because they're literally 50 feet. I can see them from here. Stay here. I'm going to go get my parents. So I get off of the van or whatever, the little limo, whatever it was. And I go and I get you walking over there, and then he's driving away.
Yeah.
Drove away.
Yeah.
So then my sister's in there going, you got to go back. She told you to stay here. She told you to stay here. My parents are right there. And she's looking out the window going, they're right there. So then he turns around and comes back, and I'm like, dude.
Yeah. So it was a pretty pretty somber trip back. We were all wore out.
Yeah,
And
but
was
we
a
had
great
it was a
time.
good time, except for that.
Yeah.
That was the
We
only
had a
damper of the
wonderful
evening. But
meal
other than
at,
that, it was
Seasons 52 in Raleigh.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh my God! If you haven't been to Seasons 52, you got to go there. They're
Yeah.
unbelievable.
That was fun. Dad, are you going to be in Chicago anytime soon?
We're working on it. Nobody's getting back to us on Chicago.
So for all of you asking about when's he going to be in Chicago, start talking to some of those promoters.
Yeah, the man Sarge.
Demand the man.
Yeah.
Cutthroat did the yes, he spoke perfect English.
And
But you know, some people don't have very good comprehension.
I saw
because I was very clear in my directions.
Sarge Fest should go world tour.
I saw Zazel see that. I can't keep up with all the comments.
I like that idea. Ed Holinsky's on. K-Fape, Sarge. I love it.
Do you know him?
Yes, very well.
Okay.
Very well. He's I can't tell you all about how much he meant in my life because he worked in the WWE and he kind of do things that I didn't and kind of gave me a little whisper in my ear.
Oh.
And as they say, shit hit the fan.
Ooh.
Thanks, Eddie.
Wow.
But for you, I'd probably be a referee right now.
Well, thanks, Ed. I definitely appreciate it. Oh, Sean Ryan, biggest fan.
Admiral.
Biggest Sergeant fan ever.
Got a big one there.
I'm on it, Sarge, he says.
So
Ed says, my pleasure.
Tell me about your working out and all this. I see you've slimmed down a little bit there, and
yes,
you're working
Thanks
hard
for
again.
Noticing.
I see you lifting the weights and you working toward the racing that you're doing. What do they call that?
My Spartan races.
Spartan racing.
Yeah, well, actually, so I do have. I've been lifting for a while. And I mix it up every like 8 weeks or so, 6 to 8 weeks. I have a coach that I work with. And, but I started really working more on my nutrition because I felt like I could work out, eat whatever I wanted. And that was not the case. And so I lost a bunch of weight before doing keto and low carb. So I'm just back to that. So that's why you're starting to see it come off. I've lost like 12 pounds, I think.
Yeah.
In 2.5 weeks, I think, or 3 weeks. I've been doing it now. I can't remember, but thank you.
How's your injured leg?
My knee? Well, it's still injured.
Yeah.
Still injured. I do take it easy.
One of the actors.
Yeah, that's
they chat a lot with you.
That's Sean. Yeah.
Okay.
That's Sean Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love chocolate too, but there's actually some like little to no sugar substitutes that you can get. I like Quest and Atkins and those brands. So I can still eat chocolate and those things. It's just got sugar substitute in it. So basically I've cut out sugar or cut out as much sugar as I possibly can. I'm eating lower carbs. I am eating carbs. I'm just eating low carb and high fat, which is keto is high fat, but I'm doing like high good fat, like avocados and things like that, nuts and cheese and olives and things like that. But so I'm doing that. And then once I get down to where I like, then I will go do maintenance, and then I'll probably do macro. I'll count macros for maintenance, and then just keep up with my workouts. But I'm actually doing a Spartan race in April. I wasn't sure if, no, Brian, I did not see your question. Ask it again. I didn't know if I would be able to race this year because of my knee. I've got a large tear in my meniscus that requires surgery. According to one doctor, I am going to go see a second opinion. I may still need to have surgery, but I didn't know if I would be able to handle doing any racing this year. So I had planned to do 3 trifectas this year. I don't think I'll be able to complete 1 trifecta this year, but I am going to race in Charlotte. That is the race that started it all for me. So I'm definitely going to get that one done. And then my kids are going to race also the next day. So I race on Saturday, and then my kids will race on Sunday. And it's a fun time. I do them for fun. I don't do them to compete. My only competition is myself. And right now I'm really not even competing with myself because I've got a bum knee. So I can only do so much, but I'm still going to run it and I'm going to do the best I can. And I'm still teaching my fitness class. Every Monday, I'm still working out. I'm still lifting weights. I'm just careful with my knee, and I can't always bend it to even 90 degrees. So I just have to modify and all of that. So Brian wants to know if you'll be at the Cauliflower Alley Club this year, the reunion.
Not sure when that is. I'll have to look that up. I haven't made the last 2 or 3, but I'd sure like to do that. And the Hall of Fame in Waterloo, I'm working on being at that one this year in Iowa, and that's always a fun time too. We raise money for the wrestlers and those who need some help. And Nick out there, I saw you throw a question out there about what was it like to go see the G.I. Joe movie at the theaters. And I took my grandson and his friend and Kelly, and we went for dinner, and then we went to the movie, and we waited a little bit so that we weren't, seeing too much. And we got in just as the movie started. And about halfway through the movie, my grandson reached over and grabbed my arm, and he said, "Grandpa," I said, "Yeah, Rudy, are you really in this movie?" Because it takes about a half hour for me to make my appearance against when I go meet Lieutenant Falcon for the first time. And he parachutes in, and he meets the Marauders and the Renegades. And no, it was the Renegades, not the Marauders, the Renegades. And so I did my classic entrance line there where "I've been expecting you. My name's Sergeant Slaughter, special drill instructor for G.I. Joe. There's only 2 ways out of my command: on your feet like a man or in a ditty bag. An itty bitty ditty bag. Got it?" And of course, Don Johnson was the voice.
I've never heard that before in my life.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Oh. I used to tell you that in the morning when late for school.
Yeah. You also used to tell me you liked the smell of napalm in the morning. I had no idea what napalm was.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Dad.
Yeah. But anyway, when I got into character, I was in character. I'm never very seldom out of character. But when I'm here at the slaughterhouse and
sometimes you do try to pull Sarge.
Yeah, try it.
And it doesn't work. Ever. It never works. Dad,
anyway,
did you ever lift weights?
I really enjoyed seeing that for a while. I think they should do another one. Actually, I saw, what was it you sent me called Slaughter? Some guys are doing
the fan fiction.
Fan fiction.
Yeah, the origin story.
I wish they would go ahead and do the whole thing. I thought it was great. Just the trailer that they did was amazing. Yeah,
that was all AI.
AI, yeah.
Yeah, he included me in that. I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah.
Dad, did you ever lift weights?
Not much. No.
I remember we had a gym in the basement.
Yeah, I bought a gym set from a guy that needed some money and probably owed me some money, and I put it in the basement. But I never worked out with weights much. Weights aren't going to help you in a wrestling match. It's the type of wrestling I do anyway, professional wrestling. But I guess if you're smaller and then you think you need more strength, I had plenty of strength, And I always started my day out with a big bowl of Wheaties, and I ended my day with a big bowl of Wheaties. Breakfast of champions.
Yes. Sometimes you would put bananas on it.
Yeah, my mother started me when I was about a year old or old enough to eat out of a spoon. She would give me a bowl of Wheaties every night before I go to bed so that I would sleep. Otherwise, I'd fuss and fight.
Gave you a full stomach.
Yeah.
So she could get some sleep. That's
Right.
what it was.
Exactly.
So Phil from Treasures for Trigger said, I'm imagining Sarge trying to pull Sarge on Kelly. No chance.
No way.
No.
No way.
I think it's funny when men think that they can intimidate me. They obviously don't know who I am. Strange men try to intimidate me. Like there were those two guys with the gym. Did I ever tell you about that?
Yeah, I told you.
Fucking idiots.
Did they come back? Have they come back?
Yeah. And so he came back and then they came back. Well, okay. We'll talk about it later because should I tell the story?
Yeah.
So I'm working out at my gym, my regular gym. And I'm on a bench and I'm using the bench and I'm like literally in the middle of my set. And this old man comes up to me. I say old man, he was around your age, Dad. And he tells me he wants the bench that I'm on. And I'm like, well, I'm using it. You can have it when I'm done. And he was like, no, I want the bench. You don't understand. I want your bench. And I'm like, well, you can use it when I'm done. Trying to be nice. And he's like, well, I want to do sit-ups on it. And I'm like, well, there's a whole area over there where you can go do sit-ups because it's a whole stretching and core area where you can go. And he was like, no, you don't understand. I want to do my sit-ups on that bench because it's got these little leg things where you can stick your legs in. And I'm sitting there thinking there are so many ways that you could modify that if you can't use this bench. Plus, there's another bench downstairs that you can use. And there's 4 other benches and 3 of them are open. So I don't know why you have to use my bench. So he finally goes like this to me. Fine. Fine. Walks away. So he comes back and is behind me and is talking about me. And he's saying stuff like, all she's doing is sitting there. She's not even working out and all this stuff. And I can hear him because he's saying it extremely loud. And so I stop what I'm doing. Because I'm sitting there during my rest, right? I'm doing my rest and I'm on my phone. So he's complaining about me just sitting there on my phone, like I'm not doing anything. And so I get up and I walk over to him. And I'm like, sir, I can hear you talking about me. And I do not appreciate it. I am using this bench. And when I'm done with this bench, you can have the bench, but not until I'm done with it. So he starts going on about how long I've been on the bench and how I'm not even using it. And I'm just using it to sit down. And he just wants blah, 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 blah. And he's going back and forth. And now he's getting loud and angry at me. And his friend's standing there behind him like, yeah. So I told him to kiss my ass. I wasn't going to give him the bench. So they fat shame me and say that my ass is big. And that it would take them a really long time to kiss my ass because it was so big.
Oh.
Nice guys, right?
Yeah, nice. Glad I wasn't there.
So when they said that, because now at this point I've gone and sat down and I put my weights down and I got up and I went straight downstairs and I told them that these people are harassing me. Anyway, so I think that he thought that I was just going to be like, oh yeah, sure. Go ahead and have the bench. Oh, now you're mad at me and you're really demanding it from me. Please, sir, you can have it. No, you're not going to have it. You can wait until I'm done, you idiot. And for someone that age to body shame, like I was just like, what is wrong with you? Like, I'm sure you've had a wife and you have children. You probably maybe even have daughters or maybe even granddaughters. Would you be okay with somebody talking to them like that? Because I guarantee you that if one of the guys that works at the gym was on that bench working out, he would not have gone to that guy and told him to get off the bench because he wanted to use it. It was because I was a woman on that bench. So I had to go to my supervisor because I do work at the gym. So I had to go to the head guy of the gym I work at and tell him what happened. He agreed with me that it was definitely like a sexist thing that happened and that he agreed that nobody would ever go and do that. So anyway, my point in this story is one, don't do that. Don't be that guy because you never know what you're going to get. He definitely did not expect to get the reaction that he got from me. He 100% thought he was going to roll over on me. I was going to roll over for him. So 1, 2, thank you. Thank you. 2, what was my point? My whole point.
Okay.
The reason why I told the story to begin with, what were we talking about? Intimidating. I'm not intimidated by a man. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how much taller you are than me because I have gone toe to toe, head to head with this guy. Okay. My entire life. And I pretty much win every time.
I toe the line.
So I've gone toe to toe with this guy. I have gone toe to toe with my husband, who's also big and can be very intimidating to people. Not to me. I am not intimidated by you. There's other women out there that aren't intimidated by you because you're a dude. Please.
Don't mess with Slaughter daughter.
He was probably mad because I could lift heavier than he can.
Yeah, that's probably another reason he was.
And he came back to the gym. He was gone for 2 weeks. I don't know what happened there, but he was gone for 2 weeks after that incident. And then he came back and he still tried to intimidate me.
Yeah.
I'd be like in my spot working out because I don't always work out on a bench. I only work out on the bench if I need the bench. And then when I'm done with the bench, I clean it off and I go somewhere else where I can still be in the mirror, but so somebody can use the bench. Bye, Ryan. See you later. Anyway, he would get really close to me and be looking down his nose at me. And I'm just like, dude, I will hit you with this weight and I won't care. So go ahead and get close to me and I'm going to punch you in the head with this freaking 30-pound weight I've got. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, Todd, I'm looking forward to coming to Fayetteville also for the Comic-Con there.
So you'll be at the Comic-Con in April? When in April? Do you know?
Don't know the exact dates. I know it's a weekend.
Well, it better not be my birthday.
I think it's at the end of the month.
Is it my birthday weekend?
Somebody else was asking if we found the Sergeant Slaughter.
That's the one I just thought I clicked on.
Rocks America. Yes, I have several copies of it.
No, Camouflage. The guy.
Oh, did we ever find Camouflage? No, I haven't been able to find him. We found Terry Daniels. He contacted me through Kelly, through another friend of his, to see if I could give him a holler. I'll probably do that, see how he's doing. And someone had also asked about those days in the 91, 92, when I had to become the Iraqi sympathizer. Vince McMahon's idea for me to go from G.I. Joe to be an Iraqi sympathizer. It's kind of like what The Rock is doing now. You know, he's saying that the Samoans are all family. You know, it's all family. But I get a feeling The Rock's going to end up helping. He's going to cause the downfall of Roman, myself. Just my scenario. They're going to and they're going to go at it to see who the real head of the family is when there's no championship involved. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
and then The Rock will become the babyface.
Well, how do you like that whole thing that they're doing?
I watched. I bet to give Hunter Triple H a call because I haven't watched much of Raw or SmackDown, NXT for a while, or AEW, because I just so busy, and so I finally got some. I had some shows recorded, and I had a little time, and so I started watching it. I watched Monday Night Raw last Monday, and I watched it from beginning to end, and I thought it was one of the best. It reminds me of when I left the WWE and went to work for Hasbro and G.I. Joe, become the first living G.I. Joe. And I kind of got, the cold shoulder from the WWE at that time. So I said, you know what? I don't need to watch your show either. So I didn't watch it for like 6 years until one day I was at a hotel and I saw the WrestleMania 6 was going to be on pay-per-view at the hotel. So I ordered it and I started watching it. And I couldn't believe the production that I was watching, because when I left, there was probably 2-3 cameras. Now, 6 years later, they got like 20 cameras and it looked like 1 million people were in the Toronto Superdome, whatever they call that place. And so I wrote Vince a little note from the hotel drawer of the in the room and sent it to him, telling him what I thought about his production. And now I've watched it again after not watching it a lot, steadily. Still the greatest show on television, without a doubt. And, if Hollywood could just take some lessons from WWE and their production, because they do it live. It's all live. It's not cut, not rehearsed. It's just they don't. They do it all live, and it was just an incredible show, and I really enjoyed watching it. And it element of surprise. It was a little bit element of surprise, which Vince McMahon always taught me. The element of surprise, Vince McMahon Senior. But anyway, so yeah, I've watched it. I'm hoping to watch it tomorrow.
Are you going to be at the 80s con?
80s con? Where's that at?
I don't know.
Oh.
Where is that? I don't want to say your name because I'm going to butcher it, and I'm really sorry. Ibzan? Ibzan? I'm really sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but where is that 80s con? Somebody else asked about the Bigfoot.
Oh, the tug of war.
Yeah,
Bigfoot.
I think I lost the comment now, but
that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a time when I was in between wrestling and G.I. Joe, and had a lot of time on my hands. So people would call me up and ask me to come and do the Pledge of Allegiance before an event. And one of the events was a Bigfoot show in Hartford, Connecticut. And they would do the show inside the hockey rink, take all the ice out, put dirt in there, and they leave the boards up from the hockey. And so I went out there, did the Pledge of Allegiance, and pretty soon here come Bigfoot with all the music, and he was the star of the show. Mm-hmm. So he comes, like the truck is coming at me, the Bigfoot truck, and I didn't know what to do, so I jumped up on the boards of the hockey rink, and people were all kind of like, what I was going to do. So I, out of the, I don't know what made me do it, but I dove off and I gave Bigfoot an elbow on the hood of his truck, and the driver made the truck go backwards. Like I really did something,
You did, kayfabe.
Kayfabe. So all the people went crazy. And so driver gets out, shakes my hand, jumps back in the truck and does his little deal. And out he goes, and I follow him by foot. And the promoters standing there, and he goes, "That was incredible. You and the Bigfoot got to do something together." I said, "What? You think I'm going to take on Bigfoot?" "Yeah, you could do it. You could think of something." So then I got to thinking man versus machine, man versus machine. And so I thought, I'll get a bunch of guys, and we'll take on Bigfoot in a tug of war, man versus machine. And so we did like 35 shows of tug of wars with Bigfoot.
And with Uncle Don.
Uncle Don
Kernodle
was Corporal Pride.
And I was in a commercial for it.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
That I've never seen.
Yeah.
Never seen it, but I was in it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see it because I guess there were some kids that were not being excited. And so they kept saying more excitement, more excitement, more excitement. So by the end of the thing, I'm like this excited face that I could make. I'm sure it was lovely.
Yeah. They said that's Slaughter daughter, but get her out of there.
She's got a horrible face. Yeah. Get her out.
That was a lot of fun doing those things.
So one of your biggest fans wants to know, do you have plans to come to Corpus Christi Comic-Con?
Oh, I would love to come back to Corpus Christi. One of my favorite cities. Boy, we used to have some fun there. Wow.
When will you, do you know if you'll be around?
Sure.
What about anywhere in Texas? Because somebody's asking about Dallas.
Yeah.
Joseph
I think
is
we
asking.
have Austin coming up. I think we're doing a show in Austin. I'm not really sure.
Austin.
To tell you the truth, I should have had my book here.
Go get it.
I don't want to go get it.
Because then it's going to be all okay. Here's where I am. Here's where I am. All right.
I'll spend the whole show going through.
Okay. Because here's another question. Will you be in Jersey anytime soon? Do you know that?
I'm always in Jersey. Always in Jersey. Go up there and visit friends. But I do want to throw a shout out while I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
This week is a friend of mine's birthday. His name is Tyrus.
Tyrus's birthday.
Tyrus's birthday. He's on the Gutfeld show.
Yeah. And do you know whose birthday it is today?
No, it's not today. It's like Wednesday or Thursday.
No, but do you know whose birthday is today?
Yes, it's my son-in-law's birthday, Jay Webb.
Yes,
Webb.
my brother-in-law.
Yeah, and it's also was your grandmother's birthday. She's passed, but it was her birthday today too.
Yeah, my grandmother.
She's having a heavenly birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, Donna.
So Anthony works for a rock station in Corpus Christi and would like to see if you could do any sound bits for my radio show. You know who you contact for that? Paul Inserto.
Paul Inserto.
That's who you contact for that.
He's my booking agent. One thing I wanted to ask, I don't know if the answer to this, because I want to ask somebody, they might know it out there.
Okay.
On our tour to the UK and Scotland.
Yes.
There's a wrestler by the name of Matt Riddle that's going to be on the show. And I've never met Matt. He's a hell of a talent. And Randy Orton were tag team partners for a while.
Yes.
But I was wondering, is Matt Riddle the son of Rock Riddle? You know, the wrestler from the LA area, Rock Riddle, who's also, his mother lives in Burlington, North Carolina. So every once in a while, I'll see him at a restaurant or something in Burlington because he visits his mom a lot. And I was just wondering, I never got to ask him if Matt was his son or a relative of his of some sort. So if anybody knows that answer, give us a shout out.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, if you're watching the replay and you've made it this far, say hello in the comments.
Oh yeah.
Dad,
I think you're doing a great job so far.
Thanks. I really don't feel like I'm ADHD, newly diagnosed, and I feel like I'm not doing a very good job because I can't pay attention to everything. But
it'd be nice to have some pictures we could throw up here and there, but
we'll figure that out later.
We'll get that.
I don't even know okay, maybe somebody out there in the interwebs can help me. My phone is almost full of storage and I cannot figure out how to get all of my like 40,000 pictures and videos onto my computer. It will not let me do it. And it's driving me crazy to the point where I'm going to go buy a phone with bigger storage so I can go to the UK and take video and be able to post stuff for my channel and content.
Can't you go to
I tried everything, Dad. No, I tried everything to the point where I started crying.
Oh.
Because I was so frustrated because I'm so technologically like an idiot. I don't know what I'm doing. And reading the help instructions, I didn't even understand. I'm like, I don't even know how to do that. And I can't do this. Speaking of me being a crybaby.
I wanted somebody to send in a comment to see if I'm on the air. Am I on? Or is it just my voice?
No, we're on.
I didn't know if you were doing this right.
Yes, we can see ourselves.
Oh.
They would have already said we can hear you, but we can't see you.
We don't see your dad.
All right, right.
It was a joke.
Oh, okay.
It's a joke, like you didn't know what you're doing, like you were the only one on.
Gotcha.
Like it was just my voice.
So Ricardo, there's a question that he wants to know, and I would like to know the answer to this too.
Yes. Okay.
Is there a slight possibility that Daughter Slaughter could be featured on G.I. Joe comics or animated series in the future?
Sure, there's always a possibility. I'm trying to get myself on another one. She'll have to wait in line. I would like to. I have approached Hasbro about it. That I think that I need a predecessor. Is it a predecessor? What did I say it with somebody after
successor.
Yeah.
After.
Yeah.
A predecessor would be before.
Predecessor of Sergeant Slaughter. Slaughter daughter.
Yes.
Should come into the G.I. Joe series somehow, and create
How
a
did
character
you do that?
That she could,
crazy.
So that she could, be in it with me, and Sergeant Slaughter's never going to die. He's going to be there till Kingdom Come, because plastic doesn't go anywhere. It's always there, and my image is always. Most of my characters still have hair, which I'm fond of. See my action figures have a little hair on it. Some take a little bit top off of my head, but to each their own. But as long as they spell my name right, SGT Slaughter on the package, that's all that matters to me. So,
as long as your name is right.
Yeah.
Cutthroat. Yes, it's an iPhone.
Yeah.
Dad.
Yes.
So Steve wants to know: is that famous clip of Steve Austin stunning you? Is that a way of passing the torch to a younger, edgier fan base?
Yes, I did many, not just one stunner. I did many, sometimes 2 or 3 a night for Steve Austin to help catapult him. Because I don't know if you all remember this, but we were at war with WCW at that time. And we had the Undertaker going pretty strong, and we brought in Steve Austin, and he fought the Law, which was me and Vince McMahon and anybody else that was ahead of the production and whatever was going on in WWE at that time. So I did whatever I had to do to win that war. Vince McMahon came in one time and said, guys, we're at war, and it might be a few weeks you go without a paycheck, but we're going to win this war. So I said, yes, sir. Dug that foxhole even deeper, along with Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe and a lot of us. We just Bruce Pritchard. We all dug that foxhole a little deeper, and we ended up winning that war. And those were the things that you did.
Wow.
My time wasn't over, but it was my time to get somebody else over, and that's why I kind of became the commissioner to help not only Steve Austin and the Undertaker and Kane, but Hunter, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels, and China. Got them and the Heart Foundation. They were all. It was a big battle, and I was basically I was the commissioner, but I was the sheriff. I was a new sheriff in town, and Vince told me to go out there and dress as a commissioner. Don't wear my Sergeant Slaughter outfit. I was not allowed to give anybody the slaughter cannon. Slaughter cannon.
Don't be
I
getting too
wasn't
close
allowed
to
to
me.
give anybody a cobra clutch. I wasn't even allowed to hit anybody or slap them. But I was the sheriff. It's like going to the OK Corral without a gun. Okay, guys, no shooting today. Boom. That's what would have happened to me back then.
Right.
But that's what I had to do. But I did it because I wanted to win that war. And we won the war. So anyway, those are things that you just did. And every once in a while, I'll see Austin send out a comment about something I'm doing and say, Sarge is the real deal. He's the guy. He's the man. Finally, after all these years, he's giving me some credit. But anyway, I like Steve a lot. I really do.
So
better than I used to anyway.
They've advertised it so we can talk about it, right?
Yes.
This.
About
sure?
the biography?
Yeah.
Coming out? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. They finally are doing a biography of Sergeant Slaughter. Can you believe that? Wow. Anyway, we've been doing a lot of hours and hours and hours of camera, on camera, and here at the slaughterhouse and all over the country. And it'd be interesting to see how it turns out. They've interviewed several of my family members. I'm not sure who else they've interviewed, but
I got interviewed.
Yeah, you got interviewed. You were a family member.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was fun. Yep, it's on biography on A&E. And it's the biography, the WWE Legends. And
I believe it starts February 25th. I don't know when I'll be on. I think probably Randy Orton will be the first one.
Yeah.
Since he just came back to the WWE, they probably want to give him the first pop. But somewhere in there, the 5 or 6 weeks of the A&E programming, Sergeant Slaughter will be on there. And be interesting to see what all they, we talked for many, many, many hours, but it's only a 2-hour show. And
and I cried.
You cried?
The first question they asked me, I started crying. I
Really?
was like, wait, cut, stop, hold on. I had to compose myself.
Oh.
I
wonder if they'll show that.
Well, I was nervous, first of all. And like, whenever I have like big emotions, I cry. So like when I'm mad, I cry. When I'm frustrated, I cry. When I'm anxious about something, I'll cry. When I'm happy about something, I cry. When I'm sad, I cry. I cry for everything. And I think it's just, I cry instead of punching people in the face.
Oh, there you go.
So anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm late because someone told me it only took 20 minutes to get there, but it took 40 minutes. So I was late. So they were like waiting for me. So I get right in. I go in and they like sit me down right away. And they're like, okay. So I didn't like really have any time to like decompress or anything. And so the first question he asked me was, what was it like to have you as a dad? And I was like, it was good. Just started crying.
Yeah, I hope they put that in there.
It was so good having as a dad. God. Idiot.
I wonder why the director and the producer asked me if you were okay.
I was okay.
If you needed to have some help.
Yeah. So it was just like you know what I mean? Like there was just so much going on and then I was late and then I don't like to be late, even though I'm late all the time and I don't like to be late. So I was just like, I was overwhelmed. It was overwhelming. And so I just had to get that out and I thought I would be done, but then I cried the entire time. So that's great. Helen crying the whole time.
Your cousin's laughing at you.
Haha, thanks, Jason. I'm going to get you next time I see you. You better watch out.
It should be, I haven't seen it. I'm sure it's probably edited and done by now, but they did call me and tell me that it was going to be released February 25th was the first one. But I don't think it's mine. I think it's somebody else's. But I'll be on that.
Do you see what Jason is calling me?
Crybaby.
You are in Jay. I'm telling you right now. I can't wait. Remember what I did to your car? I'm gonna do it again.
Okay.
I'll tell you about that later. I'm not gonna tell it on air. I'm gonna do that again. Then you're gonna be annoyed about your tire for the rest of the time that you have your vehicle.
Mark Coleman, good buddy.
Hey, Mark.
But yeah, there was a lot of work doing a biography. As I said, they came here to the slaughterhouse, and we went out to Camp Slaughter, went to the dreaded obstacle course,
So.
all those kind of things, and did different sittings at different places around the country. And they came to Joe Fest with a film crew. And boy, we had a huge line at Joe Fest, and got that all on camera. That was pretty cool. But so if you get an opportunity, I'm sure it'll play more than once because they repeat them, especially if they get a good rating. And I think they're doing one on Roman Reigns. Who else are they doing them on? I
think was one of them Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah, DDP.
Yeah. So
that's
Dad,
another guy I helped along the way a little bit. He came in the AWA when I was there, and he was just starting. He was a manager. Yeah, boy, did he blossom! Wow, what a talent!
So I want to respond to Robert here. He says, how many people have told you that you inspired them to serve their country? I'm going to respond to this because when I went to Joe Fest last year with my dad, I would say 80% of the people that came through the line, just when I was sitting there, said that. And the line was constant.
Yeah. A lot of military people come through, and veterans, or those who are now serving our great country, always thank me because I inspired them to join the military. What a better, what a better thank you from the mouths of those who are serving. And it just, I heard one of my friends say one time that Sarge is like the best ambassador, not ambassador.
Yeah, ambassador.
What do they call I lost my train of thought about the people who
spokesperson
that you go to enlist in the Army. You go to a recruiter. They say Sergeant Slaughter is the best recruiter in the United States of America for the military. But it doesn't matter what service you're serving, what branch. We're all in it together. Thank God. We're still no matter what you're hearing out there, they're only letting you hear what they want you to hear. But we got a pretty powerful military out there, and I won't want to go against us.
Dad, have you ever been? Oops. Oh. Did you watch the movie about the Von Erichs?
No, I have not been able to watch that yet.
I tried to get you to go with me. Didn't that come out around Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Because I was up here and I tried to get you to go, and you did not seem like you were interested.
Oh, I'm very interested. I know I wrestled David Von Erich twice in St. Louis, and I never wrestled Kerry, but I was on the road with him, and I know the struggles that he went through. And I'm glad to see that they made a movie. Was it a positive movie? Was it good?
I haven't seen it because
Oh,
I
you
wanted
haven't
to see it with you, and then we could get on here and talk about it.
Okay.
So let's make it happen, Kay. Is it still in the
Yes,
theaters?
I want to go to New Zealand because my good friend Tony Gurria is from there, and he's always wanted me to go back to New Zealand with him. And I think I'm going to see Tony at the one of these Comic Cons and make arrangements to do that. That'd be a lot of fun. But I think I'd like to just go there like a vacation and not have to work.
Yeah. Well, that's why, like, if you ever go to Australia,
Yeah,
you should take time to do your stuff and then take time either before or after.
Right. There are Comic Cons in Australia. I'd love to go.
I know. I would love to go to Australia
if we
too.
Get somebody to contact us and let us know when they are and see if we can't work out something.
Well, I think Zazel tried.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and they never responded.
Oh, they never responded. No. Oh
well. But that was a while back. Maybe if you have Paul contact them.
Yeah, but we also have it leaked out this week on social media. The new Sarge and Slaughter Classified is coming out. The Mad Marauders is coming out. Not sure when it's going to be out, but it's out this year. But I don't think it was supposed to leak out this soon. But it looks pretty darn good.
That somebody took a picture of it in the box.
Yeah. Well, I've been watching it grow because I make the final decision on everything, on my character. So I saw pictures of it in the box, and we decided to do an open box this year instead of doing a closed box. But it still has the little mini-me, little Sargy.
Yeah.
A lady came to one of our shows one time and her husband bought a couple of classified, and she took the little mini-me Sergeant Slaughters and made earrings out of them. It was really cool.
You told me that. That's cool.
Yeah, I think that somebody ought to do that, sell Sergeant Slaughter earrings.
So Taryn Colson said he had the pleasure of working with Sarge and Don a couple times after their NWA run with Crockett.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. Crockett Promotions. Yeah, that was the wrestling at its finest. Steamboat, Youngblood, myself, and Don Chernobyl took the World Tag Team Championships and took it to a new height. And after we got done with our match in Greensboro in March of 1984, I believe it was, that created the next year of the WCW doing Starrcade. And of course, WWE saw that. And so the following year, 1985, did WrestleMania. So the pay-per-views that's what created the pay-per-views. Back when we did our match, they didn't have pay-per-view. They had that closed circuit. And I told David Crockett, you got to rent a couple buildings near the Greensboro Coliseum so people that can't get in can watch the match like they used to do up in New York City. When I first wrestled in New York City against Bob Backlund, the Iron Sheik, Bruno Sammartino, Pat Patterson, when the Garden sold out, the New York Madison Square Garden sold out, there was a place where you could go in the Garden and watch it on closed circuit, just like you were there. So I told the Crockett's, I said, do a closed circuit. Oh, Sarge, I don't know. You think it's going to do that good? I said, yeah, it's going to do really good. And, as they say,
the rest is history.
The rest is history. The local, not local, state troopers told Don Chernobyl and I about 2 weeks later when we ran into him on the highway with the camouflage limo that they figured they turned away 17,000 cars.
Wow. That's a traffic jam.
17,000 cars were turned away. Can you imagine how many people didn't get into that arena? So anyway, up to Jimmy Crockett's dying day, I talked to him about 2 weeks before he passed. And he said, Sarge, I should have listened to you. You were right. And every time I see Dory Funk Jr., he was the booker at that time. And I told Jimmy Crockett, I said, if you want us to do this, I don't want anybody involved, just the four of us, Steamboat, Youngblood, Kernodle, and I. We don't want anybody involved in it. And Dory Funk came and said, you have my blessing. And every time I see him, he goes, Sarge, that was the easiest money I ever made. Because he didn't have to do anything. We did it all.
Dad, Dusty was asking if here, let me find it. Oops.
Hey,
anyway.
You got a place to have barbecue.
I know, with Rob Vegas.
Yeah.
Dusty wants to know if you taught me the proper way to demonstrate the camel clutch.
No, never did the camel clutch. The Cobra clutch I have. Yeah.
Yep.
I taught you so well, I don't want you to put it on me anymore because I had a kind of a stiff neck
since I did it last time.
Oh yeah. Wow.
At the your appearance.
Yeah. Somebody was asking me what it was like to wrestle Hulk Hogan, but that was fun. That was fun. You know, Hulk wasn't much of a wrestler. He could talk to Chrome off a bumper, but he didn't know a wristwatch from a headlock, you know. And so you just had to lead him around. But we called him the Golden Goose because he was, you know, making us all money. Just like we went to war with the WCW, we had to make stars. So Hulk was the guy, just like John Cena. When Vince McMahon came into a production meeting one time after everybody else had left, and there was like 5 or 10 of us there that were the main production people, he said, I want you all to know that John Cena is our new hero. And we all kind of, what did he just say? John Cena is our new hero? He can't even lace up his boots. But look what he's done now. Look what he did. I mean, look where he's on everything.
Right.
He's on everything.
He's in Hollywood.
He was I heard he was on the Daytona 500 this morning or this afternoon.
He's a Hollywood guy now.
He's Hollywood, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And incredible, just like The Rock. Rock used to come in the dressing room and he'd come up to me, we called him Dewey. And I'd say, hey, what's your name? And he'd go, my name. And I said, it doesn't matter what your name is. And look,
you used to do stuff to us.
And he stole my line.
Yeah, you used to do that to us all the time.
He used to do that to you all the time.
You used to do it all the time, and it drove me crazy. I hated it. Because you'd ask my opinion, and then I would give you my opinion. You go, it doesn't matter what you want. And I'd be like, well, yes, it does, because that's what's happening.
Yeah, we had more fun with little Dewey. But it makes you really feel good that you take guys like Steve Austin, The Rock, John Cena, Hulk Hogan, and The Undertaker, and all those guys, and you make them superstars. I don't mean just superstars, super duper superstars, where they, you know, they can't go anywhere without being recognized, like Andre the Giant was. I mean, it's incredible, you know, with the help of, you know, Vince McMahon, of course, and the WWE, making us all larger than life, just like G.I. Joe did for me. I mean, I was the first living G.I. Joe in the history, and I'm the only human being that has a WWE Hall of Fame ring and a Hasbro G.I. Joe Hall of Fame ring. And I also have the only G.I. Joe championship belt, title belt, which I'm going to bring overseas for y'all to see and take pictures with and touch.
And break.
Anyway, that's the only one of its kind. And it's quite an honor to be representative like that, you know, that you do that well, that people give you that type of credit.
Yes. Who was the wrestler that pulled your hair out?
Wrestler that pulled my hair out?
You didn't have hair.
I didn't have any.
No, you did have some.
I did have some hair, but probably Ivan Putski, because every time I would throw him off of me to hit the ropes, he would hang onto my hair and wouldn't let go. Then he'd take his fingers and take my hair and shake it off.
Nice. So he's who we have to thank for you being bald.
Yeah, another one. Yeah, and so anyway, the really looking forward to the documentary coming out. A lot of, like I said, I don't know what's all going to air after the hours and hours and hours and hours of footage that we shot.
Yeah.
Not only with me, but my family, but other.
I hope I'm in there some. I hope I had something interesting to say.
I'm really excited to see it, to see how it all worked out.
All right, let's see. I'm like so behind on these comments, Dad. What was it like working with Hacksaw?
Hacksaw, he was so much fun. He was so much fun. Yeah. No, that was Johnson.
I know. Jason was saying, but you can't see him. I'm behind.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, I'm behind.
Hacksaw came in to the WWE right out of football, had a bad injury and had to quit playing football. And he wanted to become a professional wrestler. And I was doing the Cobra Clutch Challenge for $5,000. And so the first, back then we used to do 3 hours of wrestling in Allentown. And then next night we do 3 hours of wrestling in Hamburg. And then they would air those every week. And then 3 weeks later, we go back and do 3 more. And so I had done the Cobra Clutch Challenge in Allentown on 2 guys. And then the 3rd hour, I was supposed to be off, just do a promo. And Hacksaw came over and said, "Excuse me, Mr. Slaughter." "Yes." "My name's Jim Duggan. I'm from Glens Falls, New York. And I was wondering if I could take a try at that Cobra Clutch." And I said, "Well, that's not really up to me. You have to go talk to Mr. McMahon Sr. over there, and he's got the show laid out." So a little while later, here come Mr. McMahon Sr. and said, "Sarge, that kid over there wants to try the Cobra Clutch. What do you want to do?" I said, "Well, if he wants to do it, if you want me to get on the air again, I'll do it." He said, "Okay, so we'll set it up. We'll take somebody off and we'll put you in there." So Hacksaw, he wasn't a Hacksaw then. He was just Big Jim Duggan, I forget. Anyway, so he got in the ring, put the chair in the ring, and I put the Cobra Clutch on him, but he didn't make it. And so we're getting to leave that night, and he said, "Hey, Mr. Slaughter, you think I could try that again another time?" And I said, yeah, I guess we could try it again." And he said, "Okay." I said, where are you from?" And he said, "Glens Falls." "So where are you staying?" "Oh, I'm sleeping in my car." "Sleeping in your car? What do you mean sleeping in your car?" He said, "Yeah, I don't have the money to get a hotel." I said, "Well, you come with me. I got a place you can sleep. You can sleep on the couch of my place." I said, "Follow me." So I pull around and see his car, and his car is T-bowed where the driver's side is. So he has to get in the passenger side, and he's driving his car down the road in the middle, almost on the passenger side, steering it with one hand and doing the pedals with his left foot so he could follow me.
What?
So as soon as we got to my apartment, I said, "Pull that thing over here and put it away. I'll tell Mr. McMahon to book us on the same show so you can travel with me." So that's what we did. And so we used to play these little games, before they had all this, Nintendo and all those types of games, where it was just a little wire and you'd play each other in a football or baseball or soccer, any kind of games like that. And I'd always beat Jim for $20. So one night we got to the town a little early. We had Stan Hansen with us. And Stan Hansen, I said to Stan, you guys want to go to a movie, or you want to go get a buffet or do something before we go to the arena? It's a little too early. And they said, no. So we drove around. All of a sudden, Hacksaw gives me a chop on my chest while I'm
Ooh,
driving. He
what?
said, "Stop right there, Slaughter." I said, "Where?" He said, "Right over there. I see something I can beat you at." And I said, "What is it?" He said, "Bowling. Let's go to that bowling alley. I know something I can beat you at now." So I said, "Jim, I haven't bowled in a long 30 years. It's been a long time since I bowled. Can I have a practice game?" Yep. So Stan said, "I don't want to bowl. I'll just keep score." So I started playing little ribs on hacksaw right there. I ordered a pair of shoes, size 12. So I take them down to the alley and I put them on. And Chip's anxious. He wants to get this game started. He wants to beat me. And I said, "Oh, I get the wrong size shoes. I got to go get, come on, Slaughter." And so I go up and I bring out another pair of shoes. I finally get them on. Then I go find a ball. And then pretty soon I go, "Oh, I don't like this ball. Come on, Slaughter. Come on." And yeah, I just
Doing a mental thing.
Just did the thing on him. So finally I said, "Okay, we got one practice game." Okay. So he bowls and I bowl. He has like 155 and I had like 61. So he's chomping at the bit now. He knows he's got to beat me out of somebody. So he went to, we flipped a coin to see who was going to go first. And so he says to me, "How much we're going for? Usual 20? I said, "Yeah, let's go 20. How about $20 and $1 a pin?" He said, "What does that mean? $1 a pin?" I said, "Well, like 61 from 151, you would get $1 for every point you beat me by." He started, "Wait a minute, that's like, that's a lot of money." I said, "Well, if you don't want to do it, that's fine." He said, "Oh, okay, let's do it." So he wins the flip. He goes first, got like a 9 or a spare or something. So then I went to bowl. And I went up to the line. I went to throw my ball and I stopped. And he's yelling, "What's the matter, Slaughter? What's the matter?" I turned around. I said, "Something's not right, hacksaw." Or not. He wasn't hacksaw yet. "Something not right, Jim." And he says, "What's wrong?" I said, "I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out. I got it." So I went to throw the ball again, and I stopped, and I walked back, and I'm just like looking up, and he said, "What is it, Slaughter? What's the deal?" I said, "Oh, I know what it was." And he says, "What was it?" And I took the ball in my left hand, and I said, "I'm right-handed." I forgot I was right-handed.
You forgot.
I bowled the first game left-handed against him. And I used to bowl 4 nights a week.
Is this one of those wrestling stories?
That
Oh
was
yeah, you did. You and Mom used to bowl.
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
on. I had almost a 200 average when I was bowling. So poor Jim, and of course, I beat him out of God knows how much money it was that day, and he was just so mad. And we got in the car, and as soon as Stan Hansen, real quiet, and he turns around and he says to Stan, "Don't you tell anybody about what Sarge Slaughter did to me." "Oh, I won't say a word." As soon as we got to the arena, Stan ran in without even his bag, and he goes, "Hey, everybody, you got to hear what Slaughter did to Duggan here. He beat him out all kinds of money." Of course, every time I see Jim, but I always remind him of that. And I always tell fans that come by with a little 2x4 that he signed, I said, "Go back over there and ask them if they want to do a bowling match." And I'll hear this, "All right, Slaughter. That ain't funny, Slaughter." So if anybody, even if I'm not at the show and you see Hacksaw, go up and ask him if he wants to go bowling sometime.
That's
He'll
great.
love it.
That's great. So, Dad, we actually have a lot of really good questions here.
Okay.
So if you had a match today while you were in your prime, that's not what this says. That's what I'm saying. When you were in your prime and you had to match with someone on today's roster, who would it be?
Oh, wow.
That's a good question, right?
Well, I never got to wrestle The Undertaker. That would have been a fun match.
Did you ever wrestle Rock?
No.
No.
I helped train him, but I never wrestled him. Today's roster, I think I would like to have a match. I've wrestled Randy Orton, which was pretty phenomenal matches that we have. We only had one, but
Legend Killer.
I think Seth Rollins would be a really fun match. And gosh, I'm trying to think of who all today's wrestlers. I'm trying to think of some of the.
Have you watched any of the Dark Side of the Ring episodes? And do you have a favorite episode?
No, I've heard a lot about them, but I've never got to watch them.
Did you know Giant Gonzalez?
Yes, I did. Really a giant too. Good cook.
So Mike is saying that you were his hero in the ring and on the battlefield. Would you be interested in appearing in a future G.I. Joe live action movie as yourself?
Live action?
Yes, as yourself.
It's something I'd have to look into, see how much live action I'd have to do. Yeah.
You said before that you didn't like doing the Hollywood thing.
Well, no,
because it was boring.
I'm not a good memorizer.
Right.
Not a very good memorizer.
You're better at improv.
We were when I came up in professional wrestling, we had lived everything.
Yeah.
Didn't have to learn scripts and learn our lines or be told if we're going to do this or do that. So it's difficult for an old school like me to try to memorize things. So I guess I would look at it and see what it all entailed. I'd love to do. I was supposed to be in the other G.I. Joe movies, but because of my contracts with WWE and Hasbro, and we could never do them because Mattel was their toy company and Hasbro was mine. It'd be a conflict of interest. So, in fact, the last one they did, I believe, what was the actor that played?
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis played the character that was supposed to be me, where Roadblock goes out and finds the guy that's going to help them. And it was supposed to be Sergeant Slaughter, but then they ended up having to change it all and put Bruce Willis in there as a general of some sort. I never saw it, didn't watch it. I didn't watch any of them because I wasn't in it, and they took me out of them.
Right.
I was kind of mad.
So what was your favorite wrestling match moment of your wrestling career?
What's that?
What was your favorite wrestling match moment of your wrestling career? Jonathan wants to know.
Gosh, I have so many. Start out, I guess, would be the Pat Patterson alley fight.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the greatest match of all time in Madison Square Garden. They still use that footage to teach wrestlers, not only in the WWE camp, but also in Japan and other places around the world. They show the footage of that match so that they say this is how you tell a story in professional wrestling. Because we didn't have a referee, and try to go into have a match without a referee sometime. That third party in there, it helps you out a lot, so that you can get away with this or not get away with that. And so, I would have to say it was one of my favorites. And, of course, the boot camp match with the Iron Sheik and all the matches with Steamboat and Youngblood with Kurt Odell and I, those were all classic, never before seen or never to see again. I mean, those are the matches that one of a kind. I've never, ever seen another alley fight. I think it's out of honor of Pat and I that we had this one match without a referee. I don't think there was ever a match before like that, and I don't think there's ever been one after that. But I've been watching and waiting for them to do another alley fight and see how they. Kurt Hennig one time had an alley fight in the AWA with somebody, and he did every move that we did in his match completely. I mean, he did it all. He loved that alley fight. He loved Sergeant Slaughter and the Pat Patterson character, and of course his father and I wrestled many times. But that's a guy I would have loved to have a match with.
Who's Kurt that? Hennig. Kurt Hennig.
Mr. Perfect.
Well, and you guys were friends.
Yeah, we were good friends. I helped him do a lot of vignettes for when he was Mr. Perfect and made the long putt and made the shot behind his back into the basketball hoop and did the touchdown to himself because I told him when I first met him, I said, I used to play football for Eden Prairie. He said, yeah, I know. You were one of the greatest Minnesota athletes of all time.
Oh, wow.
And so we started talking stories and stuff. I said, Kurt, one time we only had enough guys, at Eden Prairie to field the team, and our quarterback got hurt. And we were down to the last play. And the coach said, Remus, you be the quarterback. I said, Coach, I've never been a quarterback. Boy, you got to do it. So I called the play. It was a pass play. I went back, looked around, couldn't find anybody. So I just threw the ball way, way up in the air. And I ran and I caught my own pass for a touchdown. And Kurt Hennig said, what? You did what? You threw a ball and caught your own pass? And I said, yeah. And he believed that for years. And so when it was time to go do some things that made him look perfect, I said, why don't we reenact that pass? He goes, really? You'll let me do that? I said, yeah. So we got a couple of Viking football players and he was throwing passes to him. And finally they said, that was perfect. And he goes, perfect. Watch this. And he steps back and he throws the ball way in the air. And we stopped the tape. And I had the cameraman follow the ball going through the air. And then we go back to Kurt and he'd be smiling. And all of a sudden he'd start running. And we'd show him running the ball going through the air. And at the end, he would catch the ball like he caught his own pass. Came back and handed the ball to the Viking receiver. And they said, that was incredible. And Kurt said, no, that was perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
That was fun. Doing that stuff. Anyway.
So Marco wants to know if you and Mick Foley ever wrestled, and one of the actors wants to know if you ever wrestled Bret Hart.
I think I was with Bret Hart one time in maybe a 6-man tag or something like that. But no, I didn't get to wrestle Bret. That would have been an incredible match with Bret Hart. Mick Foley, he gave me the mandolin claw a few times when I was the commissioner, but I don't think I ever wrestled him either. And that would have been a fun match too. That would have been more of an alley fight type of a match. And Shawn Michaels, I never wrestled Shawn Michaels in a single match. That would have been fun.
Cutthroat has a great question here. Okay. Sarge, did Bobby Bala ever ask you to be in his Action Force movie?
What Action Force movie? He has a movie?
He probably wishes he wants one.
Oh, well, no, he hasn't. I think when I first met Bobby, and he told me that he bought the rights to Action Force, that he was thinking about doing a movie someday, but I don't know if it ever has. I've never seen it. Yeah, sure. I would love to be in an Action Force movie. That's the G.I. Joe of the UK. It'd be fun. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to coming over to England and to London, Glasgow, and Manchester, because there's a lot of Action Force fans there, along with G.I. Joe, and of course wrestling. And really looking forward to meeting all the great fans. Pat Patterson was a great friend. I just saw a question.
Yeah, Pat. They were just saying that they loved the alley fight.
Yeah,
and that it's being used as a.
Pat and I were considered ring generals. We would, I won't go into all the explanation of that, but that night, 2 ring generals got into a ring and put on a performance that nobody's ever witnessed. Probably haven't since, but Yeah, it was like being an artist, going out in that squared circle on that canvas and painting a picture for everybody that was there and everybody that was in the place where they had the screen and all the people around the world that watched that match. We were Van Gogh and the other artist, what's that famous artist, Van Gogh and
Michelangelo,
yeah,
Picasso.
yeah. That's what we were that night, and it was just incredible.
It was a masterpiece
It was.
that you guys made. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So Donnie Blanchard is watching. Hey Donnie.
Hey, Donnie.
I haven't seen you since I beat your butt in the basement of our house in Connecticut.
Wow. I threatened him a couple times, saying that if you don't get back to me, I'm going to have to give Kelly a call.
Uh-oh.
He goes, I don't want that. So.
I'm sure you love hearing that, Donnie. Do you do it a lot? Does he do that a lot to you? Tell him to stop or I'm going to come and get him.
But Donnie ended up being a pretty good wrestler.
I heard that Donnie became a championship wrestler in high school, and I have to say it that I taught him everything he knew.
Yeah. Yo, Joe.
Get
your butt over here. I need to get some work
done. So Christopher says when he was younger, he saw you wrestle in Shreveport, Louisiana.
That was before you were born.
It was in the mid 80s.
Yeah.
So it wasn't before I was born.
Well,
you lived in Shreveport before I was born, but you must have been going in there for something.
Went in there.
Oh, he said it was one of the last matches his grandpa brought him to before he passed away.
Oh, wow.
So that was a nice memory that you guys have.
Yeah.
Or that you have with your grandpa.
I gave it 150% every time I went in there. So I'm sure Grandpa had a good time.
And Todd said good night. So good night, Todd.
Good night, Todd.
He says he's sorry to leave, but he has his dad's funeral tomorrow.
Oh, God bless. Rest in peace.
Yes, I'm so sorry to hear about your loss.
Yes.
Something we all experience is the loss of a parent, and it's not anything I envy. In fact, I was just talking to, because a friend of mine just lost her mom, and then another friend of mine lost her mom and dad within like months of each other. And I was just saying, I don't know what I'm going to do when your time comes.
Oh.
It's not something I want to talk about, but I'm probably going to have to like shut down all my social media.
Oh, no, you want to
No, I
go
don't.
on with it.
No,
Take it all the way.
No, because I'm going to shut down my social media because everyone's going to be reaching out, giving their condolences, which I would appreciate. But it's one of those things where I've shared you my entire life, and in your passing, I don't want to have to share my grief with other people. You know what I mean? Like that's such a personal thing.
Yeah.
And I love hearing people talk about you and how much of an inspiration you were to them. Like I love hearing that. But I think like right when it's fresh, I'm not going to want to hear that.
Right.
That's what I feel now. I might feel differently when the moment comes, but I don't know. It's going to be hard enough. And then you bring the public into it. It makes it even harder.
Well, that's the way it is. That's the way life goes.
I know, but I don't want to have to be telling someone else like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
It's my dad. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm so sorry for you.
The night of the day I buried my mother in Minneapolis, that night I was wrestling in Chicago, Illinois. Believe that? I just wanted to get out of town and do something, get it off my mind. So when they asked me to go to Chicago, they called me up and said, are you available? And I said, well, man, just put my mother in the grave, but I guess I can jump in my car and drive to Chicago. I did. But did you ever hear about those two guys that they were winos, and they used to drink wine together every day, and finally one said he was probably gonna die because he had problems, and so the other one said, would you make me a promise? He said, anything. He said, will you pour a fifth of wine on my grave every day after I die? And the other guy thought about it. He said, yeah. You don't mind if it goes through my kidneys first, do you? Just trying to lighten it up a
You
little
and
bit.
these
Just
jokes.
trying to lighten.
So Cutthroat says that the Action Force movie is in production.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard anything.
Mm.
How can you have an Action Force movie without Sergeant Slaughter?
Well, when you have an ego problem.
I don't have any.
No, you don't.
Oh, I do.
No, you don't. Let's see. A fun match I remember watching years ago was Sarge versus Funaki.
Funaki. Yeah. I just saw Funaki about a year ago, and he came over, said hello, and I put him in the Cobra Clutch, and he got a Sergeant Slaughter challenge coin.
Nice.
Isn't that nice? He didn't even know about the challenge coin. But he said, oh, thank you.
So Terrence said when you first came to Crockett, you beat up Blackjack Mulligan
Oh, yeah.
Jr., and then you beat up his dad.
Yeah,
You won 10 grand and the caddy.
that's right. Won that.
How fun was
Cadillac
working
driven.
with a young Wyndham and Ben Mulligan?
That was one match I always looked forward to. Barry Windham. Oh my God. He was the best. He was the best. I compare him with Ricky Steamboat, Jay Youngblood, that type of hero type wrestler, what they call a baby face. I mean, it was incredible what he could do in the ring and make you look so great. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And his father was the opposite. We had brawls where we had matches where you could wear anything you wanted, bring anything in you wanted. It was a no holds barred type thing. And his dad would tape wrenches on his forearms and bend me over and hit me in the chest or in the back or in the head with a taped wrench on his arm. And one night we were wrestling in Hampton, Virginia, and before they had guardrails, they would have a tire full of cement with a pole and then a little loop on it, so they could put a piece of clothesline around the ring to supposedly keep the fans out of your match, right? A clothesline. It was so we're out there wrestling, and I'm holding this pole with a thing on it. So I go to run Jack Mulligan's head into the metal, and the thing, he hit it with his knee, and it snapped back and went right down his throat. Knocked out like 10 teeth, gave him like 40 or 50 stitches outside of his mouth. It was pretty nasty.
Pretty nasty.
And the first thing when I threw him into the ring, he's like bleeding all over the place, and he looks up at me and he goes, "Ole Anderson told you to do that, didn't he?" Because he and Ole hated it. I said, "No, you did it. You kicked it." And he started coming after me. When we ended the match, and so it was the last match of the night. So we're in our dressing rooms, and all of a sudden the referee comes over and he said, "Blackjack's throwing a fit over there. He wants to kick your ass." I said, "Well, tell him come on over. I'm ready to keep going." So pretty soon it got to where no, he's not coming over. So next night I'm wrestling Wahoo McDaniels in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Coliseum. And guess who the guest referee is? Blackjack Mulligan. He's got stitches all over his face, and his teeth are missing. And he comes over, he's got a black eye, and he's getting the instructions for Wahoo and I, and he looks at me, he goes, "Accident, huh?" I said, "Jack, you did that to yourself. Don't blame me." But that's how tough he was. He was the referee the next night.
I can't believe it.
Yes, referee.
That sounds like it really hurt.
He was a tough SOB, I tell you. Him and Wahoo.
So there was a question, I've lost it now. A question for me, if I would ever consider wrestling.
I know you've considered it.
Yep.
See,
I have considered it, and
It's
I
tough.
considered it when
no
I was
Joe, Todd.
I considered it when I was little, and it just didn't work out that way for me. I consider it now, and then I blew my knee out. So we'll see what happens.
Maybe we should just take a couple more questions because it's getting late.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we got to get going. So all right, well, let's see. Kenneth was saying he was torn between family and a dream to wrestle, and that him and his dad used to watch you together.
Yeah.
And he loved your G.I. Joe character. He was in the Army.
That's how I started. My dad would put me on his knee. I was about 3 years old, and we'd watch AWA wrestling in Minneapolis. That's how I started watching it.
So Christopher is saying that you should join the AEW. What do you think of AEW? Hey, guys.
Yeah, I think they're great. I think it's good to have another place to go to. The wrestlers now have now that WCW is no longer, they have another place to go to. Who could put Lacey in the Cobra Clutch? I think they're talking about Lacey who?
Lacey who?
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her. Yeah, I would Cobra Clutch the WWE. All of them.
Yeah.
But the thing is if I was going to wrestle when I was younger, I wanted to wrestle the men.
Yeah.
I didn't want to wrestle the women.
Like China.
Yeah, I wanted to be like China, but it was before China was China. It was before she was on. But that's what I wanted to do, was fight the men. And
yeah.
So we'll see. Will you be in Nashville at all this year?
I believe so.
Jeffrey, reach out to Paul Inserto. I put his information in the comments here. If you want to book my dad or have something signed or anything, you need to talk to Paul Inserto.
Yeah. Anyway, is tomorrow a holiday for a lot of people, or a lot of people going to work?
Well, my kids are out of school.
Well, they are for President's Day?
President's Day,
okay.
Yep. And so that's why we came up here. My kids came up here without me. And so that my husband and I could have date night.
You're welcome, Virgil.
And what is your favorite G.I. Joe episode?
Oh, I guess when I got my hands on Nemesis Enforcer.
Dad, were you ever offered or approached about going to WCW?
Yes. I got calls from Jimmy Hart and 2 calls from Hulk Hogan to come in. But I was faithful. I was a WWE guy, and I stayed with it. I stayed with them and fought the battle and the war. And I was always very loyal to the WWE. Not sure if I can say the same about them.
Especially not recently.
Sometimes you forget about those people that helped build you.
Yes, you never want to forget about the people that helped build you. That's for sure. Definitely want to thank those. I think that was it. Somebody had asked, I think it was Sean, had asked if you were really 6'6". He's messaged me and asked that, and I've answered him. But let's get the answer from you.
I was 6'5.5", not quite 6'6", but they didn't want to say that over the loudspeaker when they had introduced me. So they'd say, from Paris Island, South Carolina, weighing 305 pounds, 6'6", Sergeant Slaughter. That's how it got stuck in there. But I was probably about 6'5.5" when I wrestled and played, football and things like that. Maybe more 6'4" when I was in high school, but.
All right. So this will be the last question. James says, what are your thoughts on WrestleMania 40 It is my first time attending a WrestleMania, and I can't wait.
Oh, you are going to love it because it's 3 or 4 days of WrestleMania. Not only the matches, but everything else that's going on. You get to meet your favorite superstars, and you can even, as far as I know, you can go on a microphone with a friend of yours and do a match where you're the commentators.
That's cool.
And they have the Hall of Fame where sometimes I think they still have Sergeant Slaughter's boots and my campaign covers and things that I wore that I'm allowing them to use. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I'm going to be in Philadelphia for WrestleCon, and I'm hoping that they might give me a holler and see if maybe I'll go to a WrestleMania Hall of Fame. I'm not even sure who's being inducted this year. I haven't heard, or they haven't one.
I have no idea.
Anyway, that was a highlight of a wrestler's career, was being inducted into a Hall of Fame. I got this ring in 2004, and I've never taken it off since I got it. I mean, I've taken it off to do
for
different things
reasons,
when I had to have operations and things like that. But pretty much 24/7, I wear my Hall of Fame ring. It means a lot to me. I earned it. It's
absolutely.
It's a trophy that you can't take away from me, and my name's engraved inside of it. So someday it's going to be worth a lot of money to someone.
Who are you looking at? I feel like the families should get a ring too.
Yeah, they should.
Because I put up with a lot.
For all you went through, and your mom and your sister.
Yeah, I put up with a lot.
Iraqi sympathizer days.
Yes, I definitely put up with a lot, and you were gone all the time, and we support you from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And so I think we definitely need to know where we should have gotten a ring also. Yeah. That's just maybe one with diamonds or maybe like earrings or something. Like that would have been nice.
I think we should do another one of these soon.
Yeah, we do need to do another one soon.
We went through Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. You had a great New Year's party.
I had a great New Year's party, and then everything went to shit.
Yeah. You went what?
And then everything went to shit.
Why?
I had a horrible December and January.
I thought you meant the party.
No, I had a great party. We have a New Year's party, New Year's Day party.
Your knee and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, and the surgery that I had on my mouth and just everything.
Been a rough 2024 so far for you.
Yeah, it's been a rough one. So rough, in fact, that I celebrated New Year's again on February the 1st. Yes, I will support anything that my kids want to do. So if they want to get into wrestling, I would 100% support them. Unlike this guy who did not support my wrestling career at all.
It's a different business now, though. When I was in it, when I was in it, I wouldn't want my family to be involved in it.
Mm-mm.
But now it's a professional. It's really a profession. Yeah.
Yes, it is. So, all right, everybody. Well, did you have anything else that you wanted to say?
Me?
Yeah.
Looking forward to my next time of doing any appearances is in the UK, in Scotland. When we go to London, Glasgow, and Manchester, I'm basically just off, taking it a little bit easy. And heading over there to be I want to be in full, because I know the time change is probably going to bother me a little bit, but I'm going to give it all I got, and I can't wait to meet you all. And please don't, like I said, don't miss out on the opportunity to come and meet all of us superstars of today and yesterday, and G.I. Joe and Action Force, and It's going to be a great time. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm traveling over there with my youngest daughter, which will be fun. And she's going to go off on her own a little bit and leave me back to meet all my fans. It'll be fun. Be a good time.
I'm most excited about Stonehenge because that's like been on my bucket list since I can remember. And I've already been to England once and I didn't get to go. And I'm doing an inner circle tour, so I actually get to go in the stones. Wow. Oh my God. Yeah. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait.
Be good. Be good.
Cannot wait.
But, until then, until I get back from the UK and Scotland and all that, it'll be fun to see all of you again, maybe on here or at a Comic-Con or a WrestleCon, wherever you get a chance to come to see the Sarge and join the Sergeant Slaughter Cobra Clutch Club. You know, get your challenge coin. But you, as I said earlier, you can't buy these. You have to earn them. Whoa! There we go. Here we are.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe. And we will see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. And now you know.
And knowing is
half the battle.
Yo, Joe.
Bye. Slaughter daughter, the badass bitch. As you were.